Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a really fascinating decision out of Indonesia. It's from their constitutional court, the MK, about the Papua gubernatorial election.
Yes, and what's really striking here is how it shines a light on, well, the importance of getting the basics right in elections. Simple administrative details.
Exactly. We're looking at the official court report from the MK's website, and our mission really is to unpack why the court disqualified a candidate who had initially won and actually ordered a whole new vote.
It's quite a story. It hinges on some surprising inconsistencies in paperwork.
Okay, so let's start with the ruling itself. The MK partially granted a petition, right, from one of the candidate pairs.
That's correct. It was Pass Law Number 2, the Machis Fakiri Arioko rumor open ticket. But the real focus, the reason for the ruling, was the other ticket, Pass Law Number 1, specifically the running mate.
Yermias Bisai. And the court disqualified him.
They did. The court found he wasn't honest, acted in bad faith concerning his candidacy requirements. It's quite a strong statement.
So what was the core problem? You mentioned paperwork inconsistencies.
It all boiled down to his domicile, his official place of residence, and how that impacted these really crucial certificates he needed.
The Tidak Pernah Terpidana, never convicted, and the Tidak Sedang Dikabut Hak Pilihnya, voting rights not revoked certificates.
Precisely those. You absolutely need those, and they have to be issued by the district court covering where you actually live.
Okay, but here's where it gets weird, right? The timeline.
Yes, this is a key point the MK flagged. Get this. Those vital certificates, issued August 20th, 2024.
Okay.
But the certificate proving his domicile, the one they should have been based on, wasn't issued until 3 days later, August 23rd.
Hang on. So the proof of clean record came before the proof of address it was supposedly tied to. That doesn't seem right.
Exactly. It suggests the process was, well, flawed. The MK saw that as a major procedural red flag. Logically, you establish the address first.
And the address itself was messy too, wasn't it? There were different versions.
Yes, 2 different addresses listed in Jayapura on various documents.
Yeah.
Both started Doc V Jaipur RT003, but one ended RW002 and the other RW01.
A tiny difference, maybe just a typo or something more.
Well, it raised questions. And then the head of the local neighborhood unit, the RT0003 or W002, actually testified.
Oh, what did they say?
He said he didn't know Yermias Bisai personally, and that the address listed, it was Bisai's parents' home, currently lived in by his sibling, not Bisai himself.
Wow. Okay, so that complicates the Jayapura address claim significantly.
It does. And then, added to that, a member of Bisai's own campaign team admitted something quite revealing.
Which was?
That Bisai didn't live at that Jayapura address. They admitted they just pulled the address info from the district court's database in Jayapura, apparently without even talking to Bisai about it directly.
So they just assumed the address based on a database entry without verification.
It's used that way. And to obtain these court documents, they used a scanned copy of Bisai's signature, which they'd made into a stamp.
A scanned signature stamp. That feels a bit removed from proper procedure.
It certainly raises questions about the thoroughness and perhaps the authenticity of the application process. But here's the biggest piece.
Okay.
Yermias Bisai, at the time, was the incumbent Bupati, the regent, of Warupan. That's a different region entirely.
Right.
And when he officially registered as a candidate, the address on his national ID card, his KTP, was his Warupan address.
So his official ID showed Warupan, but the court certificates were obtained using a questionable Jayapura address.
Exactly. And that's the legal linchpin. Election law is very clear. Those certificates must come from the court whose jurisdiction covers the candidate's actual residence.
Which, based on his ID and his job, was Warupan, not Jayapura.
Correct. So the MK found that the certificates issued by the Jayapura court were based on false premises regarding his domicile. They weren't legally valid for his candidacy.
So the consequence was?
The MK annulled the KPU's original election result declaration. They disqualified Yermias Bisai specifically. And they ordered a revote for the governor and vice governor positions in Papua.
A whole new election.
A revote, yes. To be held within 180 days, and crucially, without Yermias Bisai as a candidate for vice governor.
And the court emphasized the principles involved here.
Very much so. They stressed that Bisai's actions violated fundamental principles of honesty and good faith required for candidates. They even quoted Jeremy Bentham.
Bentham. What was the quote?
Something to the effect that procedure is the handmaiden of justice, or, as reported, the essence of law, highlighting that proper administrative steps aren't just red tape, they're fundamental to legal validity.
So the big takeaway for listeners is really how a detail like an incorrect address, maybe seemingly minor, can completely unravel an election outcome.
Absolutely. It shows the critical link between administrative accuracy, honesty, and the legitimacy of the whole democratic process.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How many other essential processes, things we rely on for governance or accountability, might depend on these kinds of seemingly mundane bureaucratic details that we just take for granted?
That's the provocative thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are those hidden dependencies underpinning the systems we trust? Something
Yeah.
worth pondering.